Hi, this is Marieta Osanek, founder of Immigration Beast. Thank you so much for tuning in. In today's video, I want to break down the recent policy alert, the memo issued by USCIS that is concerning the adjudication and the discretionary power that USCIS officers have when it comes to adjudicating cases. So, if you want to learn more, stay tuned. Coming up. Alright guys, so let's break it down. Before I dive deeper, I do want to ask you to subscribe, especially if you're new to my channel. Welcome. Hit that bell notification button so you're notified every time I release new content. So guys, what is this memo about? Well, basically that means, essentially, the bottom line is that right now, on top of everything, the USCIS officers have discretionary power to decide whether they're going to approve your case or deny your case. And this discretionary power, I do want to talk about today, what that means actually, what are the factors that are taken into consideration, and so on. So on July 15th, 2020, USCIS issued the policy alert, and the subject was applying discretion in USCIS adjudication. So that means that for many immigration benefits, such as certain applications for lawful permanent residence and employment authorization documents, the benefit requester, which is you, has the burden of demonstrating eligibility for the benefit sought, including that a favorable exercise of discretion is warranted. If the requester, which is you, otherwise establishes eligibility, which might require showing that the alien is not inadmissible under the law, and positive discretionary factors present in particular case outweigh any negative factors, USCIS should favorably exercise discretion. For benefits involving discretion, a discretionary analysis is a separate component of the adjudication of the benefit requests. It is typically assessed at the end of the review after an officer has determined that the requester meets all other applicable eligible requirements. So guys, let's break this down because this is important, right? You have to understand that discretionary power doesn't just mean that, they just gonna deny your case just because they feel like it, right? And that is something that I do want to break down for you so you actually do understand it. I know this is actually very, very deep conversation we have today. Maybe other attorneys might be interested in this, but I think it's important for you to understand the process because then you can reduce the level of stress or the fear, right? So let's talk about the discretionary analysis that they are referring in this memo too. So discretionary analysis involves the review of all relevant specific facts and circumstances in an individual case. However, there are limitations on how the officer may exercise discretion. The officer might not exercise discretion arbitrarily, inconsistently, or in reliance on basis or assumptions. So this is important, guys. Just because they have discretionary power, right, that doesn't necessarily mean that they can exercise this power arbitrarily or inconsistently or on biases or just assumption. All right, so this is good, this is positive. Now, there are regulations and case law that outline certain factors that officers must review and use as a guide in making discretionary determination. However, there is no exhaustive list of factors that officers might consider. To perform this analysis, officers must weigh all positive factors present in particular case against any negative factors in the totality of the record. The analysis must be comprehensive, specific to the case, and based on all relevant factors known at the time of adjudication. For complex and difficult cases, officers should consult with their supervisors. So let's talk about the factors. What are the factors that they are taking into consideration? For example, whether the requester is eligible for the benefits, whether applicant or beneficiary's ties to family members in the United States and closeness of these underlying relationships, hardship due to the adverse decision, the applicant or beneficiary's value and service to the community, the length of the applicant or beneficiary's lawful residence in the United States and status held during this residence, including the age which the alien began residing in the United States, service in armed forces, history of employment, property or business ties in the United States, history of taxes paid, nature and underlying circumstances of any inadmissibility ground at issue, if any, right? Any violations. Obviously, there is criminal history if you have any. Evidence regarding respect to law and order, good character, intent to hold family responsibility, and so on. So these are just examples, right? So you have to understand that this discretionary analysis is part of the process and is additional component of adjudication of the cases. So just because they have discretionary power doesn't necessarily mean they can decide based on their mood, which is something that people think. Many times I'm hearing this, especially when it comes to U.S. consulate experience, when it comes to U.S. consulate, U.S. embassy experience, because some of you actually many of you, many times I see comments or emails, oh, they just decided based on their mood. And that's not necessarily true. They're always deciding based on certain factors, right? Just because you are not aware of these factors doesn't mean that they decided based on their mood, right? So keep that in mind. However, this is big because you have to understand that. That being said, I do recommend you work with an attorney that is experienced, especially experienced in that particular case that you are working on. So let me give you an example. I personally focus on business immigration. I focus on E2 visas, L visas, EB5, immigration through investment and immigration through business. I work with entrepreneurs, I consult entrepreneurs, I coach entrepreneurs, and I've been doing this for 10 years, so I know I am expert in these particular cases. However, if you come to me with deportation case, I cannot help you. I'm not expert. So keep that in mind when you are hiring an attorney and when you are choosing the right attorney. Make a due diligence and really decide based on the evidence, based on the track record, successful case approval in the past, not just based on your feeling or just based on assumption, right? So this is important, and I highly recommend to hire an attorney, especially now, because this time is just crazy time, right? So you want to be supported, you want to be the best you can be, especially when you're filing your case. And keep that in mind that obviously, yes, there is an extra challenge for you guys, and I do understand the level of pressure you are facing because I'm immigrant myself, okay? I'm not just some chick who was born and raised in the United States. So I'm just being super honest here with you. For those who don't know my story, you can check out my story. I made a video. I moved to US with $700, not speaking English, went to law school, started my company. Nobody would hire me. I didn't have the H-1B visa sponsor. I had to start myself on my own from scratch in large debt. So I know that the journey of immigrant is very challenging, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's impossible. And if you really want to live in US, you have to almost fight for it, right? These days, it looks like fight, right? So I hope this was helpful. I hope that this was also inspiring and motivational. I have a live training tomorrow for people who want to start business, who want to turn idea into a profit, people who want to possibly later in the future apply for E2 visa. And the link is going to be below this video. You can definitely register. And also I have an additional training for you where I'm talking about how to get E2 visa during this time, coronavirus thing, post-COVID, and maybe not even post-COVID, it's still here. So yeah, the links will be below. If you need to consult with me, if you need to book consultation with me, again, the link is gonna be below. If you email me, I do not reply via email. I do not offer email consultation. You have to book it if you are interested talking to me. Otherwise, you can leave a comment below. Sometimes I do reply to some of these comments. I'm sorry that I don't reply to all of you guys. I have another YouTube channel and I have 2 businesses that I'm actually running. So yeah, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you're new, make sure to subscribe. Also check out my Instagram account where I do share supporting content, especially in Insta stories. And again, stay strong, stay positive, and stay tuned for my upcoming videos. See you soon. Bye.